As a sovereign Alberta, we are working on a constitution that brings into line individual freedoms and rights. Interim constitution that we're proposing is based on the U.S. Constitution, but there's a number of amendments to the U.S. Constitution, so that means, they had to fix some things along the way. What we're proposing is a constitution that's loosely based on the U.S. Constitution, but it has even more checks and balances, and it has more public input through sort of along the Swiss line, where certain things that the government can't do, for example, is to impose something that the public might not want, and in order to discern whether the public wants it, you have to hold a referendum on it. And so that's one way to deal with these sorts of things. And so I think you'll be really excited to see what we're proposing in the new constitution, which is, like I say, it's been run through constitutional lawyers and business people and professionals, et cetera, et cetera. And it hasn't been released yet because we're still tweaking it. But we expect that it'll be released by the end of September. And this would be the basis for a full constitutional conference that would take place after Alberta declares its sovereignty, immediately following a successful referendum.
Yeah, so a lot of those that are skeptical of independence on the left, more pragmatic in the sense of like, well, they don't trust the UCP. If they are worried about a government overstepping their bounds and reaching into people's lives and acting in a way that is corrupt, then technically wouldn't they want more checks and balances?
Exactly.
Like a limited government is limited in its ability to become corrupt or to interfere with people's lives. So this is a unique opportunity to weave in a better foundation through a robust constitution.
Well, exactly. And here's just one example from the Constitution, the proposed Constitution. You have the people above a constitution, and then you have the various branches. But we have a new branch, and which is above all of them, and that is a branch that oversees the executive branch, the judiciary, the Senate, and its sole mandate is to ensure that each branch of government does not deviate at all from the Constitution. Okay, so there can't be anything, and that's its sole responsibility. And there are four arms that look after that oversee those four branches of government. Then, on top of that, from an economic point of view, what we're proposing as well is that each department that operates, whether it's be education or healthcare or military, every 3 months there's an audit released to the public. So when you are audited every 3 months, you have very little opportunity to divest funds in a way in which they shouldn't be divested. You see what I'm saying? So checks and balances, right? And then for any new spending bills or something that may be substantive, you'd have to have a referendum on that, or a plebiscite, either or. Referendums are binding, plebiscites are not necessarily binding, so referendum would be preferable. So you see what I'm saying here is that for the individual who's concerned about corruption in government, what we've attempted to do is virtually eliminate it in this fashion. And I think it should be picked up by and supported, by the Alberta electorate, from the Constitutional Conference. Now, it doesn't mean to say, once we release the interim constitution for the public, just like the Value of Freedom document, open for public discussion. So we expect there are going to be, constitutional lawyers on one side of the equation, and constitutional lawyers on the other side of the equation, arguing about various points, and we're going to, it's just the way it is, but this is what we want. We want public discussion, and we're not saying that everything is going to be absolutely perfect. We're just like the Value of Freedom document has been open for public discussion. We're making some tweaks to that before its second version is released. So by the same token, the same thing will happen with our proposed interim constitution. And these sorts of things will help the public understand what the potential is for a sovereign country.